Between 1800 to 1865, African Americans from the southern part of the United States tried to escape from their slave owners. Conductors like Harriet Tubman would guide the slaves from station to station by using code words, songs, and sounds. Slave patrols were out trying to capture slaves and send them back to their owners. This was a monumental moment when African Americans used their creativity and their intelligence to escape to freedom. The first slaves were brought to the United States in 1619. They arrived in Jamestown, Virginia. The owners had fewer than 50 enslaved people on each plantation. The slaves had very restricted access to anything like leaving the plantation, talking to people, and eating. Some nights they didn't even get any food. They also had to work 12 to 14 hours a day. 6 to 7 million slaves were imported in the 1800s. This shows how little room the slaves had on the slave ship. Some slaves started a rebellion called the Nat Turner Rebellion in 1831. The southern states had to tighten up their security on the slaves so they won't escape. The abolitionists were Northerners and free blacks. They worked together to create the Underground Railroad to help the slaves escape. It was very dangerous to use the Underground Railroad because there was a very good chance of you getting caught. Between 1800 and 1865, African Americans tried to escape from their slave owners. Some did, and others didn't make it past the slave patrols. Those that were able to escape met up with a conductor that they were talking to. A conductor is a person who helps the slaves get through the Underground Railroad. Some of the most well-known were abolitionists like Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass. Here are two homes that were used as Underground Railroad stations. The conductor would guide the slaves from station to station by using code words, songs, and sounds. Here are some code words that they used.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. When the sun comes back, when the first quail calls, follow the drink and go. For the old man is waiting for, carry you to freedom. Follow the drink and go.
With the help of the Underground Railroad, 40 to 100,000 slaves escaped. The success of the Underground Railroad made Northerners change their thoughts about slavery. The South thought slavery was good, and the people from the North thought slavery was bad, which started the Civil War. The Civil War was one of the most bloody wars in United States history. By Abraham Lincoln signing the 13th Amendment, slavery was abolished and the slaves were free, but it didn't end there. They were free, but they were still treated poorly. In the South, they had Jim Crow laws that separated blacks from whites. In the 1960s, Martin Luther King Jr., who was fighting for civil rights so blacks and whites could be treated the same. Today, we have the Black Lives Matter protests after George Floyd's death. We are still fighting for our rights.